Hello everyone, my name is Rakesh. I am planning a set of video series on various networking technologies. Mostly it has to do with the interrupts, let us say Cisco products on one end and Juniper products on the other end. The series would mainly be on virtualized environments. For example, for Juniper we would be using a VMX. For Juniper Firewall we would be using a VSRX, and for Cisco ASA likewise we will be using a virtualized environment as well. We would also use the service provider series, for example an ASR router or a Nexus emulator for data center tracks, and also other software releases from from other vendors such as Big IP or Blue Coat or Arista. Okay, so before we move on to what the series is about and how we proceed, a brief introduction about myself. I have been in the networking industry for a while now. I have been working with various NOC TAC environments, and currently my job role requires me to perform a role which is similar to design and implementation of a service provider, an enterprise class, or a data center based networks. Okay, so when compared to the previous days, most of the service providers were on popular networking equipment. Like I said, they were sticking to Cisco only. We have seen cases of that sort as well, but the current day data centers or service providers are into a variety of networking equipment. To start with, one is the Juniper evolution into the enterprise and also the data center networks. Now you have VMware, everywhere. You can emulate a virtual server, and you can spawn servers within minutes. You have Amazon, AWS, and so when you are in a service or a support sort of environment, knowing the technology is one part, but having a hands-on the equipment is definitely what is required. You got to know how the device behaves. You got to know where to see what in order to troubleshoot and restore the network if it is down, or if there is any huge service impact which is going on. Okay, so I hold an active CCIE and also a JNCIE certifications from both Cisco and Juniper. So my prime goal for this series would be to create a sort of environment with various set of firewalls and also the service provider enterprise class virtualized product releases, so that first point is I'll be in touch with the technology and also the various sorts of products with the various design scenarios. The secondly, it would be useful for at least some of you who are in preparation of various professional specialist or expert level certifications. Okay, so the structure of the entire series would be, we'll be labbing upon one topic. Okay, so for each and every lab, if you see, for example, this is what I was planning for the lab 1 or lab 2, I should say. Lab 1 will be the installation of the VSRX, the VMX, and integration of GNS3 with VMware. So each of the lab will have a lab task, and it will also list out the equipment which would be equipment. Here I would mostly, I should say, all of my labs will be confined to uh, virtual machines or VMware. Okay, the end goal is you and I should be able to replicate the same thing. Okay, so that will be page 1. So once you're done with it, you will also be presented with the topology of the scenario. For example, our lab 2 will you'll be forming an OSPF with the firewall. You'll also form an OSPF with the firewall. The catch in this case is this is a Juniper firewall, and the one end you will be having a Juniper router, the other end you'll be having a Cisco router. So how a Juniper firewall would behave, how would you configure OSPF in a Juniper MX router if you're configuring it for the first time, how would you do it in a Cisco router. Most of you, I'd probably bet that you are already pretty good at Cisco series. Okay, so the second part of it would deal about the topology. The third part, and if for some reason someone else is missing, that would provide you with the screenshots. The PDF for each and every lab will be uploaded for the reference should there be any, and the last it will be a technical reference, and as in for the video where I have referred, or what can be a better reference point from a vendor perspective. If it is for Juniper SRX policies, this is what I have referred. If it is for MX OSPF, this is what I have referred. If it is Cisco OSPF, this is what I have referred. Okay, so this is of the series would be the major tools for this particular series will be a VMware workstation, GNS3 software, or IOU. You can use anything of your choice. Anything would do. Okay, I would say, if you have access to IOU, start using it. You should definitely use a Wireshark. If you're using GNS3, it will be installed by default, I guess. I'm pretty sure it, and you have an option to install Wireshark. With respect to the Juniper gear, for the first few sets of videos, you definitely want the VSRX image, the Firefly image, which is the Juniper firewall, and also the VMware you should have the VMX image, which is a virtualized MX router from Juniper. So these are the tools or the software sets which you need to have in order to proceed with the labs. Okay, so this, I hope this would be a very good journey. So the next video would be about how would you install a VSRX VMX and then integrate it with your GNS3. Thank you so much.